Can I start today's video at the end? Can I begin with the conclusion? That way, if you don't like where we're going, you don't have to listen to the rest of the video. But today's video is for anyone who has been betrayed, embarrassed, humiliated, taken advantage of, abused, molested. If that's you, God has really good news for you today. Tucked away back in the Old Testament is a story that's way too long for me to tell you the whole story today. I just want to jump to the climactic ending of this passage that says, "Old things are gone, and behold, I am making all things new." This is God talking here, not Doug. The old things are gone. The old is past. All things are being made new. Your past may be full of shame, but God's future is full of grace. Your past may be full of death, but God's future is full of life. And so I have a question for you this morning. It's a real simple question. What is it that you want to rule and run your life? A, your past, or B, God's future? Simple questions. So, chaplain, what's the secret to getting rid of all of the past stuff in my life and finding this newness of life? Again, for me to tell you the whole story would take, 45 minutes. But I can give it to you in one word, and that word is forgiveness. I can give it to you in 4 words if you want a little bit more. Vertical forgiveness, and then horizontal forgiveness. Vertical forgiveness, getting ourselves right with God, we hear that in 1 John chapter 1, verses 8 and 9. If we say that we don't have any sin in our lives, we're not telling the truth. We're lying. But if we confess our sin, God is faithful and just, and He forgives us of our sin. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about, chaplain, if I were going to expose and confess my sin and shame to God, He'd just yell at me and send me to hell. No. That's a story that you've put together in your head, and it's not true. The Bible says, at least my authority, I don't know what your authority is, my authority in the Bible says, if we confess our sin, God forgives us. So then, when we've got this vertical thing healed and whole, then we are free to give horizontally the same forgiveness that we've received from God. Matthew chapter 10, verse 8, freely you have received, freely give. You see, when God has released us from our self-imposed prison of sin, that's when we are empowered to release others from their prison. And when we do that, I'm about to jump out of my skin this morning. When we do that, when we release others, we discover that we are freed from our own prisons, plural, from the past. Now, just to make sure you're still with me, this new perspective of forgiveness on our part does not, I repeat, does not excuse the people in our lives who belittled us and embarrassed us and humiliated us and abused us and molested us. Giving to others the same grace and forgiveness that God has given to us simply frees me from the responsibility of fixing them. I can't fix them anyway, so it frees me. Giving them forgiveness on my part frees me from that prison. So let me close with a question from earlier. Simple question for a simple person at least. What do you want to rule and reign your life? Your past or God's future? Seems like a no-brainer. If you'd like to hear more, touch base. Thanks much. Have a great week.